Hello, Cowgirl Earth Magic School community. I'm so grateful you're here. Today, our Teaching Tuesday is we're going to do a honey jar ritual together. With Mabon being yesterday, the honey jar is all about like sweetening your blessings and sweetening your intentions, and it's great for abundance, prosperity. So I thought we'd take our intentions, seal them and steep them in honey. Take our intentions for the year ahead, steep them in honey, and let that energy, help manifest everything we're trying to manifest. I did leave a list for like materials in our Skool community or posted it on social media if you need to pause this video and go check out the supply list, or we'll go through it now. You will need a glass jar. Mine is nothing fancy. You're gonna let your wax drip over to seal it, so it doesn't have to be fancy. This is just an old herb jar that I scraped the label off when I got finished with it so that I could use it for something like this. But you want your jar to be big enough that you can fill it with your intentions and with herbs and crystals and whatever else we're gonna use to raise energy around what we're trying to manifest. You need the honey to sweeten your intentions. I grabbed this honey and it stays in my crystal room in the closet because it's honey that's like not my family's favorite honey. So just, how every source of honey tastes a little bit different. This one I am fine with it, but it's not my family's favorite. So I keep that up here. You need a paper and pen to write down your intentions, or what I've done in the past, and I didn't do it this time. I'm looking at my drawer where if you've got like some keywords or phrases, sometimes I'll flip through magazines and like I have a honey jar that I did for self-love, and I know I've got the word beauty cut out of a magazine in this really beautiful font, and it's on the outside of that honey jar. And that honey jar still sits on my bathroom vanity, and I'm always reminded that's a beautiful way to add intention to these jars too. You could optionally add a sprinkle of sugar, coconut sugar, and some other sweetening materials. I will use herbs. Use whatever calls to you. Some that I listed were cinnamon, rose petals. You could use flowers also, lavender, nutmeg, basil. You will need one candle. That's for, at the end, that's how we're gonna seal our jars with the melted candle wax. And I didn't put the crystals on the supply list, but I honestly don't know what I was thinking. I do have a list of crystals, and then I have a few that I'm using, but something like this, it would be great to use citrine. If you're in our free community, on the crystal education tab, I just posted a short little snippet about citrine yesterday. So that's great for prosperity, success, abundance, pyrite, wealth. It's like a wealth magnet, keeps your energy grounded and practical. Green aventurine is for luck, opportunity, steady growth. Tiger's eye, confidence, willpower, courage, and business. Malachite, transformation, sustainable growth in your finances. Clear quartz, which I will grab one. I forgot my little clear quartz point, but I do like to put clear quartz in every jar that I do just to amplify and magnify your intentions. I am also adding, I didn't originally have these on my list, but when I was gathering my crystals, yellow fluorite. That's great for like business success and like soul purpose, divination type, and magnetite. It's the attraction stone. It's a grounding stone, but it literally magnetizes your intentions towards you. So that is our supplies. Let's get started just clearing and bringing the 4 elements to life here. Where is my lighter? Here it is. And you know what? I will probably move my things and tilt my camera down when we're filling our jars so you can see what I'm doing. As you breathe in, just breathe in that clear white light, and exhale, give it a different color. I always say like brown. Exhale that brown, stuck, stagnant energy, anything that's no longer serving you. literally see it dissipating into that smoke as that sage smoke lifts it away. Fire for passion, creativity. Water for ease, flow, abundance. And we have a lot representative of Earth today. I do want to open a circle. I call to the guides and the guardians of the East, the element of air, to bring clarity. I call to the guides and the guardians of the South, the element of fire for passion. I call to the guides and the guardians of the West, the element of water for ease, flow, abundance. And I call to the guides and the guardians of the North, the element of earth for stability and grounding. Okay, so I hope your sage is still burning, because the first thing we're gonna do is clear our jars. I'm gonna put you guys down on my little table so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Oh boy, I can just scoot the table, that will be easier. So I think, there we go. There we go. So first thing is we're doing this to craft our intentions, clearing the year ahead. What do we want to manifest? So write your intentions, and I want you to write them in the present tense. So you're not going to say, I am going to start a new business. I am going to start going to the gym. You're going to say, I am flourishing in business. I am healthy. I go to the gym daily. I eat healthy. You know, whatever it is, you're going to write it down in the present tense on your piece of paper. So I'm just going to stay quiet while I think of mine. I have the idea in my head, but I got to think of the words, and just write it on your piece of paper. I magnetize new opportunities for success. Okay. And this is what you're calling in. So since you're calling it in, we're going to fold the paper towards ourselves 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And actually, first things first, I said that I hoped you kept your sage burning, because we're going to clear the jar before we add anything to it. Well, there's my price tag still. I don't remember what it was, but it was $10. Okay, so once you've got your intention written down, add that to your jar, and we're going to build our jar. I would like to, if you brought like a little thing of sugar, this is some coconut sugar and some other sweetening ingredients. I'm just going to put a dab in there of that, and just while I'm doing that, thinking of it, adding sweet blessings to my intention. And now we're going to add our herbs. So I do have rose petals. As you're adding them, I want you to bring to mind or say out loud the intention that you have for each herb that you're adding to your jar. So I'm adding some rose petals for beauty and optimism. Rose, and to keep a high vibration. Rose is the highest vibrates at the highest frequency of plants. Cinnamon. This speeds up success and attracts money. So who doesn't want that? Oh my gosh, it's a brand new thing of cinnamon I haven't even opened yet. So I'm not even going to sprinkle it. I'm just going to pinch it and put it in there. For speeding up success and bringing financial abundance. That smells good. A bay leaf. I'm going to add a bay leaf for success, protection of my goals. Chamomile. Chamomile draws in wealth and keeps your finances flowing smoothly. Who doesn't need chamomile for drawing in wealth and keeping my finances flowing smoothly? I've also got orange peel here. Orange peels for business blessings. To bless our businesses. Now, here's something kind of cool. I pulled out this little bit of bee pollen that I have. You know, think about bees, and they're like all about creation medicine, creating, manifesting new ideas and prosperity. They're like you're planting seeds of the future for creation, manifestation, and new ideas for prosperity. And let's get crystals. What do we got? This is where, if you've got nutmeg, you could do that for like luck in business and money matters. If you've got basil, that's good for prosperity, abundance, financial blessings. Rosemary for protection and longevity. Think about rosemary for like sustainable income that's going to last. Mint would be like for fresh growth or financial flow. So if you've got any of those, you could add those too. Now your crystals, I've got citrine for prosperity, success, and abundance. I've got pyrite for this wealth magnet, keeping my energy grounded and practical and magnetizing wealth. I've got tiger's eye for confidence, willpower, and courage within my business. And I've also got my magnetite. It's the attraction stone for magnetizing my intentions to what I'm creating. And yellow fluorite for manifestation. That was a big one. You might also have green aventurine for luck, opportunity, steady growth. Malachite for transformation, sustainable growth in your finances. Whatever else you're going to add, now is the time to do it. So if you've got like the magazine clippings, or you've got any little pictures, or anything else that you want to add, now is the time to do that. Because next we're going to whisper into the jar, and then we're going to seal everything in honey. So I can bring you back up here, because we're going to whisper into the jar, and that's going to do two things. A, that's going to speak your intention into your jar, which it's already written there, but still. B, it's going to add your breath. I talked about adding that life force energy. I talked about adding that life force energy when we do rituals. So that's the other thing that's going to do. So if you're not ready, you can pause this video here and keep adding things to your jar. Or if you're ready, now we're going to whisper into the jar. So just repeat after me. May the year be sweet and gentle, honeyed and bright. Bring abundance and security. With grace in my heart and harm to none, this prayer is sealed. This work is done. And pretty quick after, I'm going to start adding my honey. And you just want to, I am not holding back here. As you're adding that honey, just think about your intentions. Think about that honey adding a layer of sweetness. I got to set it down and squeeze with two hands. Think of that honey adding a layer of sweetness to your intentions. And you want to make sure that everything gets buried in the honey. So don't leave anything sticking out the top. Oh no, I told you guys this old honey that I keep in my closet, it's kind of crystallized some. That's why I'm having a hard time squeezing it out. There we go. Be patient with your honey. Make sure you get that paper covered good. See why we needed a big jar now, so that you could fit all that in there? While we're here waiting on my honey, we can just chat for a minute. I did try the Skool live feature. I tried that for the Mabon altar decorating. So what I've learned is, if I'm gonna go live, there is a calendar in our free community is where I would put it. And if I put something on the calendar, there will be like a little notification at the top of the community that will say, like, it would have said like Mabon altar decorating happening in 3 hours, and it would change, you know, as the time got closer and closer. Mabon altar decorating happening in 7 days, you know, like whatever the time is, it would change to accommodate that. So once I went live, there wasn't like a way to tag people. I tried to say like a couple days ahead when I got the idea, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do this live to test this live feature. So I tried that. And a couple people were interested in it. If they saw it in the group, they were kind of into it, because I was going to do a giveaway too, just to, you know, invite people to be on so I could see what it's like. And anyway, so what happened was nobody came on. But that's okay. Like, people aren't used to this platform. It was only a couple days that I had said I was going to go live. What I did do, my daughter's in our group, and I had her get on and be live so that she's in the group. I don't know how much she watches, probably not much, because a lot of times she just hangs out with me and hears about what I'm doing anyway. But she's in the group for that reason, just to kind of give me the option to see what it's like from like the member side of things, so that I can kind of help problem solve and see if things go smoothly and what I need to do differently. So anyway, so she popped in live, and it was cool because like she could, you know, opt to have the camera on and microphone on, or have them both off. Once she came on though, like it notified me and she was right there and we could see each other and talk to each other. So that was cool. But then it did make my screen smaller, which then made it hard to see what I was doing. So I don't know, I went like, what is it, portrait instead of landscape view too. And so I don't know if I would have been landscape. My husband thinks that would have made it be a little bit bigger still, bigger and better. My honey is going so slow and I don't have my paper covered yet. Sorry. So that's an idea. I'm going to try doing the live next time in landscape view. I'm going to try adding it to the calendar and see if that makes it, you know, notify people and make it easier for people to find it when they're trying to log on to find it. I'm almost there. I've at least got my paper covered almost. So yeah, so we'll try that again sometime. I'll come up with some other fun little freebie to do. This is probably gonna make a mess. I'm taking my lid off. I don't want you guys to be waiting here. Oh boy, yep, let me just get this chunks that have crystallized out of the way. There we go. Now we're gonna be cooking with gas. Okay. Yeah, I can hear air again coming from my bottle. So there we go. You know what, I think I should put the lid back on too soon. There we go. Okay. Everything is sealed. I haven't done a honey jar in at least 6 months probably. Okay, so now seal your lid tightly. And there should be your jar, fully covered. There's my little Post-it. There's my bay leaf. There are my crystals, herbs. You can turn it upside down and kind of watch it move around. I always think that's fun. I'll find old jars and kind of play with them like that. Okay, but anyway, so all right, we've sealed it. Now, next step is we're gonna actually seal it with the wax from our candle. So I want you to find a good heat-proof surface. And you're going to place your jar on your surface, place your candle on the top, and then you're going to light your candle, but let it melt all the way down and drip all over and seal your jar shut. So I will put my jar on, isn't this a neat little slate plate? My friend Georgia made them. She's an Elemental Enchanted Goddess is her business. She creates all kinds of little beautiful tools. But anyway, that's where I'm gonna place mine on there. If you hold the flame to the bottom of your candle for a minute above your jar, your wax will start melting there, and then you can stick it onto the top of your jar and just hold it there till that wax hardens, and then you know your candle isn't gonna go anywhere. So I'm gonna let that candle harden before I light it. And then what I want you to do, like I said, we're gonna let the candle burn and let the wax drip, covering the jar to seal it. And then keep this jar on your altar or somewhere special to you. Like I said, I've got one for self-confidence on the vanity in my bathroom. But keep that until your intention's manifested. And when your intention's manifested, then you can return it to the earth. Like maybe take the plastic lid off, but then I'd just bury the rest of it. I just say to take the plastic lid off because I don't like the idea of putting plastic into the earth. But yeah, so keep it until your vision's manifested and then return it to the earth with gratitude for that manifesting. All right, my candle's all good. With grace in my heart and harm to none, this prayer is sealed, this work is done. And there's my jar. And we'll just let that burn. When mine gets all the way burned down, I'll post a picture with this video in the comments so that you guys can see what mine looks like. Okay, and let's release the guides and guardians and open our circle back up. With gratitude, I release the guides and guardians of the north and thank them for their protection and stability. I thank and release the guides and the guardians from the west and thank them for their ease, abundance, and flow. I release and thank the guides and the guardians of the south for bringing courage, transformation, and passion. And I thank and release the guides and the guardians of the east for bringing stability, clear vision, clarity. As always, thanks for being here. It brings me so much joy to be able to do what I love and share it with you all. Let's see, Wednesday is Cowgirl Roots. If you're in Cowgirl Roots tomorrow, we'll be doing a Mabon crystal grid, and Thursday will be our meditation right here in the free community. Friday will be Obsidian Lesson 4 for Cowgirl Soul. That's our 4th crystal deep dive session. And then we're getting into October. So I can't believe it. I'll pop on and talk about classrooms again in case anybody wants to start fresh in October. In October, we'll be doing shadow work. I am 90% sure I've got the crystal picked out for the crystal deep dive, where we do 4 lessons on the same crystal to really not only just learn surface level properties of it, but actually how to work with it and incorporate it into our everyday lives. That's in the Cowgirl Soul classroom. In Cowgirl Roots, that's like our base tier where you get everything in the free tier, plus You get the Chakra Healing Toolkit digital download. You get every week a guided energy work session. Every week you get a crystal grid guided that we do together. And then and Cowgirl Roots is where you get the new moon and full moon ceremonies. Then at the Cowgirl Soul, that's where you get everything in Roots, everything in the free community, plus Cowgirl Soul is doing the Crystal of the Month deep dive. In Cowgirl Soul, you get once a month free reading from me at the beginning of the month. Also at the beginning of the month, that's where the astro forecast comes, where you get a session where I just talk about all the like major planetary alignments and things happening astrologically that you might want to be made aware of. And once a week, we do a collective crystal or card pull for Cowgirl Soul. And at the end of the week, we do a journal prompt in Cowgirl Soul. And then Cowgirl Wild is like the biggest tier for, I think it's $77 a month, where you get everything in Cowgirl Soul, everything in Cowgirl Roots, everything in the free community, plus Cowgirl Wild gets the best thing I think is a virtual energy work session live with me, which is like $70 on its own. So you get that. Then you also get like a discount on any additional services. You get the sound bath and everything in the other tiers. So I'd love for you to join us. It's just kind of a way to go like even deeper into your practice. If that's something you're interested in, you go to cowgirlearthmagic.com, where you purchase access to the classrooms, you get access to everything for life. And I am still doing, if you're in the free community, you get your first month of access free. When you go to checkout, you just put in Skool, thank you, SKOOL, as the coupon code at checkout, and it takes the whole first month is free. And if you're not into it, then that's fine. Just cancel before the next month starts and you won't be charged for it. So I'll go live, or I'll do a post about that just since we've got a new month coming. But in case you're interested, I'd love to see you in all the other classrooms too. So, all right, thanks for being here. We'll talk soon.